Country music star Troy Gentry dies in copter crash near South Jersey Airport. A helicopter carrying singer Troy Gentry, one half of the country music duo Montgomery Gentry, crashed on Friday near Flying W Airport in Medford, killing Gentry and the pilot hours before Montgomery Gentry was due to perform at the airport. Medford Township Police Chief Richard Meter gave details of the crash during a briefing at his police station, in which he said officers and medic units were dispatched about 12:40 p.m. for a distressed call. "When we arrived, the aircraft was still airborne," he said. "It crashed shortly thereafter, and some of my officers witnessed the helicopter going down." The crash happened in what the chief described as swampy open field just south of the runway, where the band had been slated to perform. Meter said 4,000 to 5,000 tickets had been sold for the concert. There were no concertgoers at the airport when the crash happened, but there were crews and people setting up, Meter said. The chief said crews tried to extricate two men on board, Gentry and pilot James Evan Robinson, 30, who was originally from Meigs, Georgia, but had been living in the area. Meter said medics rushed Gentry to Virtua Hospital in Marlton, where he died. Crews worked for hours to remove Robinson from the mangled wreckage. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Meter said Gentry had been at the airport earlier in the day preparing for his concert. He was at the airport and took off in the helicopter with the pilot to go somewhere, and they were returning to the Flying W when the helicopter crashed, Meter said. Melissa Davis, 33, who was out grabbing dinner on Friday night with her young son at the Mikado restaurant on Route 70 in nearby Evesham, said workers in the commercial real estate office where she works became aware of the crash shortly after it happened. "Everyone was talking about it," Davis said. "We all watched the news and were shocked." Meter said his office did not know the make and model of the two-seat helicopter or who owned it, but it had no connection to the airport. Meter said 4 dozen officers from Medford Township, Lumberton, and other police departments assisted in closing off roads and gathering witnesses. About 6 to 8 workers from the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office also helped secure the scene on Friday afternoon, according to county spokesman Joel Bewley. Meter said Friday night that members of the National Transportation Safety Board, which investigates such accidents, were en route to Medford. The area has been fully closed off, including the airport, the swim club, restaurant, bar, and hotel on site as an active investigation site, said Meter. It will remain sealed and closed off into the weekend as FAA members and those from NTSB arrive to do their investigation. On Friday night, Fostertown Road leading to the airport was closed and the entire crash site was sealed off. Vehicles were being turned away by officers all evening, and there was a wall of police cars. In the pitch darkness, all that was recognizable were the flashing red lights of the police cars. The NTSB, in cooperation with the FAA, will be investigating the cause of the crash, Meter said. It could be weeks before we know anything. The band's website called Gentry's death tragic and said details of the crash were unknown. Troy Gentry's family wishes to acknowledge all of the kind thoughts and prayers and asks for privacy at this time, the website said. Gentry, who was 50, was born in Lexington, Kentucky, where he met Montgomery and they formed an act based off their surnames. His listed home, the chief said, was Franklin, Tennessee. Montgomery Gentry had success on the country charts and country radio in the 2000s, scoring #1 hits with Roll With Me, Back When I Knew It All, Lucky Man, Something to Be Proud Of, and If You Ever Stopped Loving Me. Some of the songs even cracked the top 40 on the pop charts. The band, which released its debut album, Tattoos and Scars, in 1999, mixed country music with southern rock. It was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry in 2009. "This is truly a tragedy," Meter said. "There are a lot of people touched by this. You had bandmates here, you had crew members here setting up, and of course, you had those coming to see the concert. Our heartfelt sympathies go out to the families of both victims," Meter said. "We are all saddened by this.